initially it happened almost by accident. I was, I think I was describing, this was to a group of Stanford alums, frankly. I was describing the book to someone, uh, and it's a black woman who's a lawyer, and she said something to the effect of, that sounds like my life. And I guess I said enough that she could relate to that as I said, well, this is something we're going to cover and we're going to talk about this and maybe I'll talk about that. She had stories that fit into these slots in the book, which were stories that she wanted to share because they were stories that she was still working out herself. And in her situation, this is a woman who is a Stanford grad, also a lawyer, and who'd been married to what she might describe as a working class or blue collar man. Had very different class backgrounds and orientations and sensibilities. And she was divorced. And this was in the aftermath of her divorce. And so she was sort of working out what went wrong there. And I just happened to talk to her at the time when these questions were live questions for her. And the book seemed to strike a chord. And she then had friends who she thought would also want to share their experiences. And what I hope that the book does, and this was the magic of it for me certainly, is that I talked to people who did not talk about the book, right? I talked to them independently and posed very open-ended questions. I didn't have a checklist of things I wanted to find out. I posed very open-ended questions, but I was startled to see so much commonality across their experiences. And so that people who thought, that their experience was just their experience and they were trying to figure it out, well, actually their experience was the experience of many other people as well. It's just that we haven't had any sort of conversation so that people can understand that there's a commonality to all those experiences. I think there are, I hope this is a rich book. I've tried to write it in a way that really begins a conversation rather than ending a conversation. So there are three big issues we discuss. One is the decline in marriage. The other is the increase in couples where the wife earns more and or is better educated than her husband. And the third is interracial marriage. And each of those issues is a very fraught topic. Commentators differ as to whether the decline of marriage is socially significant or not, whether it's something we should be concerned about or not. They differ, and actually haven't examined much the phenomenon of women earning more and being better educated than their husbands. And people are very conflicted about interracial relationships, African Americans in particular. The black women are the least likely to marry, but it's not because they don't want to be married, it's because they face a shortage of men. Yet black women are also the least likely to marry interracially. And that reflects an array of factors, but one of the factors is that black women are resistant to marrying across racial lines as a result of a whole assortment of social pressures to stay within the group. So that will probably be the most volatile conversation. It is a conversation that has caused many people to decide they don't like the book immediately, decide that they don't want to talk about it, or this is sort of a kind of a forbidden topic, that of interracial relationships.